Okay, let's just do this. I've been meaning to do this for a while, and there's so much happening, I just feel like we need to get it out of the way. Let's talk about The Last of Us 2. I finished it the week it came out. I got it day one, fell in line for it for like 2 hours. And this is completely not the video I wanted to make for it, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. This is, like, I was supposed to do a full breakdown and a review, but the thing is, I think that does the game a disservice. Dropping a number on it does the game a disservice. It's causing so much commotion in the entire gaming community, left and right. Left or right, sorry, that's not political. This is completely unscripted, mostly unscripted, by the way. The thing is, there's so much about The Last of Us 2 that is understandably off-putting. The flack it's getting is understandable, but the love it's getting is understandable too. Those who come to attack it and those who come to defend it, they're technically both right. You see, the main thing here that I've observed, and the main thing that I personally experience when I play the game, is that there is so much of it. Like, it's 20 plus hours, so literally there is so much of it. But at the same time, there's so much of it. You know, it's omnipresent in memes, in reviews, and there's so much. It's all over YouTube, it's all over gaming websites, it's all over Screen Rant and Kotaku. Everybody has something to say about The Last of Us 2. I'm no different. But the thing here is that I've watched and read a few of them. Watched the reviews, read the opinions, read the thoughts, and Shelby from Girlfriend Reviews did a real great job of breaking it down. But there's one thing that people keep missing. At least I believe they keep missing. It's something that I haven't seen be discussed. Obviously, this is gonna go into major spoiler territory. I didn't. I had a whole breakdown prepared for plot, performances, and everything, but I don't have time anymore. You know, I want to get my thoughts on The Last of Us 2 out there, and I have to do it now. The zeitgeist, you know, the window for opportunity to have conversations about it is closing. It's been almost a month since it came out. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room, Joel and Abby. I've seen so many discussions about this game that talk about how Abby is a parallel to Ellie. You have the pregnant girl love triangle thing for Abby, Owen, I think, and whatever the other girl's name is. And then you have Dina, Jesse, and Ellie on the other side, on the Jackson, Team Jackson. There we go. But the thing is, what people don't seem to notice, or at least sparse to point out, is that Abby is more of a parallel to Joel, more so than she is to Ellie. You have a character who reluctantly takes on a young kid. Well, in Abby's case, two young kids, Yara and Lev. I forgot their names. It's been 3 weeks. Lev and Yara. And as somebody who was ruthless, like Joel was in the first game, who's ruthless, he's a killing machine, who just... Troy Baker described him as a man with very few moral lines left to cross. That's the thing. Abby is more of the same. She's a lot like Joel during the early parts of the first game. But after that kid, Yara and Lev, yeah, there we go. After those kids, Yara and Lev save her life, she warms up to them. Much like how Joel started warming up to Ellie after Ellie shoots that guy who was drowning Joel in the first game. It's been a while since I played the first one. Abby has much more in common with Joel. So it is kind of poetic justice that she is the one to deliver that killing blow to Joel so early in the game. And yes, I know that's something that people were really up in arms about, but personally, if you didn't think that Joel was gonna die in this game, then you weren't paying attention, because that's clearly the story they were trying to tell. From the moment Joel made his choice at the end of the first game, he was on this road. You know, he was on the trajectory he was on the road to dying. It happened pretty early. I would have loved to have played as Joel for like an hour or two or three or maybe five in the sequel. Of course, I love Joel. Troy Baker is my favorite video game actor. I love him, and I would have loved to play as him. Of course, I would. But if you didn't know that Joel was gonna die sooner rather than later, and that was gonna be the main point of the game, then you weren't paying attention. And if you're up in arms about that, then maybe you should have replayed the first one and taken some more time to truly understand these characters. Now, you have Abby and you have Joel, two characters who are strikingly similar in terms of their narrative arcs. I'm confident in believing that Abby walked away from that beach at the end with at least an understanding. At the very least, an understanding of why Joel did what he did at the end of the first game. I'm not saying she forgave him. I'm not saying it's okay by her. Of course not. Joel killed her dad. But she understands. At that point, she understands. Because she now has a kid herself that she wants to protect. When Lev was freaking out after Yara got killed and told her that your people did this, Abby's response was, "You're my people." A lot like how Joel and Ellie became each other's person in the first game. Another big elephant in the room for the game is that too much time is spent playing as Abby. And sure, like, honestly, I get that part, at least at the beginning. I was really looking forward to playing as Ellie, a little bit of Joel, but mostly Ellie. So when I realized that half of this game was going to be played from the perspective of the villain, no. Initially I wasn't cool with that. Because I didn't care. Don't make me sympathize with the person I'm aiming to kill. She killed my dad. But no, Naughty Dog did a great job. A fantastic job of getting that to happen. Of getting us to care. Because the people who say that Abby isn't a compelling character are people who were too angry about the narrative shift to even try to care about caring about Abby. And that's doing the game a disservice. There's people who are saying that the game isn't well written. That's objectively incorrect. Neil Druckmann, the director of the game, said that the game is not fun. It's engaging. That is 100% factual. Because the game is super harrowing. It is. It's 20 hours of exhaustion, of hate, 20 hours of anger, 20 hours of pure loathing from both sides. Until you realize that the main message that the game is trying to tell you, at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference. Revenge, quests for revenge, they're not the answer. Ellie has a family. They're the answer. You have JJ and Dina. She could go back to JJ and Dina, and that could be it. She said so herself in the theater when Tommy asked her, "Is that okay?" Ellie's response is, "It has to be, because the point of this game is understanding pain and learning how to let it go." Abby did it. Ellie did it. And if you lived through the story, if you survived the harrowing 20 plus hours of the game, you hate Neil Druckmann, you hate Naughty Dog for ruining these characters. Just listen to the message of the game. Learn how to let go of that hate, because hate didn't cure a damn thing. Hate didn't solve a damn thing. Here we are. I've been rambling for the past 10 plus minutes. The Last of Us 2, objectively, is very good. Narratively solid. Absolutely solid. It has a story it wants to tell, and it takes no prisoners in telling that story, you know? It makes no apologies in telling that story. Gameplay wise, sure, it's The Last of Us. It plays a lot like the first game. You have a new mechanic of going prone. It's the same. And it's it's serviceable. It's not the best. It takes some liberties with the standard stealth action adventure game controls, but they're fairly intuitive enough. It's it's a non-issue. Gameplay is as is. It's really good. It's pretty good. Graphically speaking, my God, it's top notch. Graphically speaking, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Late generation title. It looks like the bridging point between the PS4 and the PS5. Woodhawker from Beat 'em Up said that it doesn't. It looks like the PS5 isn't needed because of how gorgeous the game is. I, I mostly agree, I guess, because it is pretty close. It's really good. It is really good. Uh, Performances, I have nothing to say. I might be a little bit of a bias. I like all of these actors. Again, I said earlier, Troy Baker is my favorite video game actor, and it's a crime that we got so little of him. At least I got so little of him, but otherwise, yeah. So I just want to wrap up by saying that if you're not a fan of the game, that's fine. Nobody is forcing you to like it at all. Just take a moment before you get consumed by your disdain for it. Take a step back and ask yourself, does the world really need more hate? Because if you see someone liking it, you don't need to shut them down for liking it. A lot of people do. I get a lot of people hating it. The narrative issues, I'm not going to deny they're there. Because, again, personally, I would have liked to have kept Joel around a little bit longer, but I get why he isn't. Anyway, as I was saying, if you don't like it, then don't like it. It's fine. But there's no need to shove it down other people's throats that you don't like it. Same goes for the people who do. But it's a little bit more of a lenient thing, because why not just lean towards the positive, you know? If you don't like it, then you don't like it. Don't talk about it, keep your distance from it. You don't need to sling crap at other people for liking it. And if you like it, then great. Let's talk about it. In the comments below, I'm welcome to talk about it. I loved it. Personally, I love the game. I love the first one. I love most of Naughty Dog's work. I love all of Naughty Dog's work. So let's talk about it in the comments below. This is Alpha X the Keeper signing off.